So, good morning, friends. So, in the previous video, you have seen why to study water resources engineering. What is the importance of that subject in civil engineering? But in today's video, let us see what we are going to learn in this course. What we are going to learn in this course. This course consists of 5 units. And the first unit is mainly dedicated to the hydrologic cycle. This is the first thing that you should remember. It is dedicated to hydrologic cycle, which is also called as water cycle. And in this water cycle, the most important component of the water cycle, which is called as precipitation, and we can call it as rainfall. So, this precipitation, completely about it we will study. So, when we study about the precipitation, what are the types of it? What are the forms of it? What are the devices to measure the precipitation? How to represent precipitation? How to correct the data? How to check for consistency? And how to develop basically different curves such as depth area duration, intensity duration frequency curves, or probable maximum precipitation from this precipitation. So, the entire unit revolves around the hydrologic cycle and the important component of hydrologic cycle, that is precipitation. So, at the end of the complete unit, every one of you really you shall be able to describe the components of hydrologic cycle. That is the outcome which we are expecting from you. Explain the methods of precipitation measurement. What are the types of rain gauges? How the rainfall distribution pattern in India? Apply various methods for determining the average precipitation. Then afterwards, the analyzation of the rainfall records for missing data and consistency. And finally, evaluate or interpret the depth area duration relationships or intensity duration frequency, and also the evaluation of probable maximum precipitation. So, this is the main course outcome which is expected from you. So, focus on the course outcome while really listening to each of the lectures and see whether we are able to really achieve that goal or not. And anywhere, at any point, if you have any query, never hesitate to disturb. But while doing this course, what are the resources that which we have? The resources are the 2 textbooks which we have, one by B.C. Punmiya and the other one is by P.N. Modi, that is Irrigation, Water Resources and Water Power Engineering by B.C. Punmiya and P.N. Modi. These are the textbooks. Apart from that, for this particular unit, we follow basically, for example, K. Subramanya, Jairam Reddy, these 2 we will follow for this unit. Apart from that, we do have S.K. Garg and Arora textbooks also for this purpose. Apart from these, we have the NPTEL material actually. If you see the NPTEL videos which are being developed by IIT Guwahati and IIT Kharagpur. So, these are the resources which we have used while preparing the complete content of this particular unit. So, hydrologic cycle and main important component of it is precipitation. So, afterwards of the precipitation, what happens to the precipitation? what happens to precipitation? Some part of precipitation is lost as evaporation. So this we will study in the second unit, right? And some part of the precipitation it penetrates into the ground and lost as infiltration. This we study in second unit. Then some part of precipitation naturally will be obstructed by buildings, by vegetation and all those things. That is what we call it as interception, storage. And some part of precipitation will go into any pits that are there on the ground or any small what you call it as undulations in the land topography where the water can be just stagnant. Such type of water we call it as depression storage. And finally some quantity of water flows on the ground. That is what we call it as runoff. See how many components are there. Once you study the precipitation, some of the part of the precipitation is lost as evaporation, some part is lost as infiltration, some part is basically lost through buildings and vegetation, that is interception, some part is stored in the small pits that are there on the ground or basically small basically that means sudden undulations wherever they are there on the ground, there it is depression storage, and some part will flow on that. Apart from this, one more also after this which we call it as evapotranspiration. Evaporation can happen from the water bodies, but transpiration can happen from the plant stomata, basically the transpiration occurs. So that also we will study. We study in detail about each of these things in the second unit. That is why it is called as abstractions from precipitation. So after the completion of this particular unit, the student shall be able to understand what is evaporation, evapotranspiration, the infiltration, and he can be able to explain the significance of hydrologic cycle and watershed processes, and he can compute the basically these values by using empirical methods and standard methods, and finally analyze the flow duration curve and mass curve basically for decision making in watershed management. So all the what Bloom's levels from L1 to L4 are covered in this particular unit. So first part is hydrologic cycle precipitation, second unit is abstractions from precipitation. Please remember again the words evaporation, evapotranspiration, infiltration, interception storage, depression storage, then finally runoff. These are the things. Again, textbooks and reference material is same. Coming to the third unit, that runoff part we will deal in completely. This runoff part we focus in this particular unit. In this runoff actually, because that is finally the important thing which is available for us. So the water that is flowing on the surface and reaching to the rivers and to the finally the oceans. So that river water only, that is what which we are using. That stream water is what we are using it. So that is why we focus more on this runoff and do different calculations, different analyzations, different evaluations of runoff in this particular unit. So the whole unit purpose is only to study about the runoff, wherein we bring the concept of hydrograph, unit hydrograph, synthetic unit hydrograph, S hydrograph, all these concepts we will bring in here. Again, at the end of this unit, actually, the third unit completely refers to mainly runoff and representation of runoff and calculations of runoff, estimations of runoff, actually all these things that which we will do, and mainly this runoff is studied in terms of the hydrographs actually in this particular unit. Different hydrographs are there, then direct runoff hydrograph, or basically the unit hydrograph or S hydrograph, or for example synthetic unit hydrograph. All these things we will study here, and this particular unit helps us in analyzing the entire runoff actually. Whatever water that is flowing on the surface of the earth, that can be analyzed for different purposes. That particular very important unit for this unit actually, not only from your exam point of view, but also from the civil services point of view, for also any competitive exam point of view or gate point of view. This is an excellent unit which you should be really having complete command on the entire unit. And the outcomes also clearly mentioned at L1 level, L2 level, L3 level, L4 level, what exactly you need to really learn and produce the outcome, that which we have given here. Please look into it. Then textbooks are same textbooks which we follow, because this unit is also part of hydrology only. The fourth unit is again whatever water that has infiltrated into the ground, the infiltrated into the ground, that is what we call it as groundwater. So this particular unit, our focus is mainly on groundwater, because the third unit focus is mainly on the surface water, whereas this particular unit focus is on the groundwater. Apart from the groundwater actually, we also deal with one more point actually, which we call it as the irrigation requirements. Irrigation basically. So this irrigation, what are the water requirements of crops, what are the various types of crops basically, so what are the methods of applying water to the crops, what are different types of irrigation systems, all those we will do it. So the fourth unit consists of two independent topics. One is groundwater, the second one is irrigation. Irrigation can be done by surface water or by groundwater. So this is the thing, and the outcome also, if you see it, fundamentally understanding the things and then basically applying the things at L1, L2 level, and then afterwards if you apply it and analyze it L3 level, analyze and evaluate it at L4 level, different components of this particular unit, textbooks remains same. Please note the textbooks actually. Please, textbook is very important actually. Then coming to the last unit of it is, okay, water is available in the river. From the river to the crop, to the field, to the farmer, how you send the water actually. So you require a system, and that system is nothing but canal system. So that entire canal systems, especially we will see what are the various methods of this designing of the canals actually, how to estimate the design discharge, and what are the theories that are available in these canal systems, that we will study. Apart from that, one more important point is also related to the water only, that is what we call it as water logging. So these are the things which we will study in this top unit. So coming once again, let me basically again the unit L1, L2, L3, L4, see how the course outcome we have designed. The course outcome is designed in such a way that you shall be able to really see that every class, when it is completed, after that, what is the learning outcome from this particular class. You don't need to wait for the entire unit. Each class should give you what is the learning outcome today. Like that, if you're like, that's how we have elaborately written the course outcome for each unit. Understand that first. So when you are coming to the class, today I must go out with this learning outcome. That should be your attitude when you are entering into the class. So with that motto, if you really participate and then interact and then really work with me, then I am sure that you learn the required content for it. And this is also very important actually. So kindly note that all the 5 units are very important from not only the exam point of view, from the gate point of view, from the engineering services point of view, from the civil services point of view, or any competitive exam which you want to write after your completion of the graduation, whether it is the state test or the central test, kindly remember a wonderful base course, water resources engineering. So never neglect any of the topics in that, because the topics are arranged in such a way that it is a continuity actually. So we started with the hydrologic cycle, we started with the rainfall. From the after the rainfall, the losses which we have taken. After the losses, the main component runoff we have taken, and that runoff basically the third unit. After that, basically what we have taken, the groundwater. After that, how much, what are the irrigation requirements of the crops, what are the various types of irrigation methods that which were studied. And in the last unit, how to take water from a river to the field, then canal system. And while doing this, all this process, naturally, what is waterlogging? Because that phenomena you should not allow under any cost. So that's why what is that important phenomena of waterlogging. So this completes the 5 units of this particular course. Very precise course, very important course. Each topic is very important. So focus on each topic and then participate in the lectures, and let us together learn this course. And these are nothing but actually each unit wise. First unit is hydrologic cycle and precipitation. The second unit is evaporation, infiltration, runoff. Then, and of course, evapotranspiration. Third unit is hydrograph and unit hydrograph theory. And fourth unit is groundwater and irrigation. Fifth unit is the canal, mains canal thing, what you call it as the canal systems, and only waterlogging and the drainage design. So these are the 5 units. And if you take it, what are the objectives from my point of view as a teacher? Actually, I want to describe the components of hydrologic cycle. I want to demonstrate to you what are the precipitation measurements and average precipitations and all. Whereas from your point of view, the student point of view, you always should think what I should get from this unit. What is my learning outcome from this unit? That's what you need to look into it. And finally, we need to achieve at least up to L4 in this particular course. Once if I give some more project like thing in this, then it go into L5 and L6 actually. So learning is up to L4 here. Then if you do projects in this, any of these things, then it will go up to L5, L6 actually. With this, I really welcome you all to this water resources course, and let us really learn together and then get the best outcomes out of this course. Thank you so much.
Vishnu Audio Visual Center, like and share and subscribe and click bell icon.